championship so close he can taste it.
Oliver Askew has won the Freedom 100.
Side by side. And your new champion, Christian Rasmussen.
We had a great race yesterday. I mean, obviously the competition here is so close in this points battle as well at the front. And Christian Rasmussen, as we mentioned before, really needs that Jay Howard driver development program to just they need to step up their game a little bit. And it's a little weird to say that, but they really had a bad round yesterday, and they need to figure out a way to take this second row starting position and put it forward.
Well, 4 wins on the season. Yeah, you know, a stat that I really track a lot is fast laps. He's got more than anybody this year because that shows you how he can race. And if you watched him in that the Freedom 90 at Lucas Oil Raceway on the oval, his car control was just magnificent in that, how he would just guide it and get it around there. A little problem maybe here with the number 55 of Reese Gold, and that's big. I mean, he's obviously starting outside the front row, also third in the points, and that's going to be interesting. You know, with that incident yesterday, though, when there's an opportunity, you have to take advantage of it. And Braden Eves just didn't get the qualifying in yesterday's race that he wanted. Started back in 9th, but with everything that unfolded, he was able to get back up and get into 4th spot. And with Rasmussen's issues, finishing back in 10th. That really helped him make up some ground in the points, and that has kept him right in the thick of things. And it's interesting. Yesterday, after qualifying in 2nd, Artem Petrov starts back in 6th. So the exclusive Autosport guys just not quite where they were in that first qualifying. But the grid is so close and so compact here, it's going to be pretty spectacular. But Manuel Suleiman, he was just on it yesterday, had an absolutely phenomenal race. And look at this, they're pulling the 55 of Reese Gold out of line. The car would not start, qualified 2nd, 3rd in the points, Rob, and he's moved to the back at best.
Wow, that is crazy for Reese Gold. Again, as you said, right in that points battle. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, they're going to continue to go to work on the car of Reese Gold. He sits in the car still. They'll get it fired up and get a long lap, a warm-up lap, so he will have the opportunity. And if he can start from pit lane, that will be fine as well. But they are going to work trying to figure out what's going on here. They're not able to get the car to fire, as you said. Wow, what a turn of events for Reese Gold.
And talk about a character-building moment for a 16-year-old gun.
Very true, very true. Joining the booth today, I've got another one of my driver analysts coming from USF 2000. Dylan Christie from Turn 3 Motorsports joining me. Dylan, good to have you up here in the booth. Maybe a little different vantage point for you today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I mean, thanks for having me here. I've never even been in this room before or done this before, but here I am doing something new. So from being down there to hopping out of the car, running over here, and being up there being up here is great. And man, I hope they get restarted because you know, I know everyone here works so hard.
Yeah, looks like they're good to go, Dylan.
They are.
We got some time. So they got the engine started. He'll be getting out here quick. Before we go, we'll bring you in for some analyst stuff in terms of the race itself. But how did your weekend go overall here at Road America?
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the weekend had a rough start. But what's kind of great is even when we have a rough start and it doesn't start great, I mean, we always kind of rebound, and that's kind of what happened is we just stayed out of the trouble. We made our way forward, and I mean, we started towards the back and ended towards the front, which is great. So
that's the right direction to be going, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
Again, folks, those of you tuning in on Road to Indy TV or the YouTube channel, my name is Rob Howden, joined by Greg Creamer in the booth here at Road America. Dylan Christie from Turn 3 Motorsport, the USF 2000 rookie, my driver analyst for this event here. Indy Pro 2000, back end of their doubleheader. Greg, this will cap off the Road to Indy component of the weekend.
Absolutely, and what a weekend it's been. Obviously, 2nd round here, 10th round of the season. Interesting thing with Reese, and I like this, when they got the word, got it started and everything, he called over, I'm guessing his strategist or engineer, and just wanted to have a conversation with him right there at the car. I think that's a great presence here. Are we set? What's going on here? And with this long lap and the field just working its way now up into, at the time, into the turn 5 area, 1, he's got plenty of time to catch him, but 2, he could push that really hard, and he could have those Cooper tires really up to tip when they get ready to go here.
That's a great point.
Reese, are they letting him go up to his...
I think he's going to be able to get back to his spot. Yeah.
Well, that's even better because now he starts 2nd with hot tires.
We'll see what happens when they shake things down here once again. Indy Pro 2000 drivers getting set to go, as I said, wrapping up this weekend event here at Road America. Manuel Suleiman with a big win yesterday. He'll start on pole alongside his teammate Reese Gold. Look for Artem Petrov to be aggressive. I know that he and Suleiman got together a little bit. I think Suleiman crowded him out a bit in turn number 12 in Canada Corner. Artem was not happy at the podium at all. Actually refused to spray the champagne, just bailed out of the podium. Not a happy man, so he's going to be really aggressive, I think, here.
Got a little red mist unfolding here, maybe. Obviously, that's going to be a lot of fun for the fans here to watch. Did you get a chance to check in with the exclusive team and find out what happened with qualifying? Second yesterday, sixth today for them?
I didn't ask that specific question. I just think again, this is such a competitive series that seriously it was just in different conditions. We talked about that. They qualified in the afternoon on Friday, early in the morning. Yesterday morning was significantly cooler. Probably just missed it, and that's what it is with this particular series. It just takes you miss it a little bit. It's so deep, so many great drivers, so many great teams. It's all it takes.
Well, and this track responds differently. One with different rubber down, but also as heat and temperature changes just a little bit, this track really will change things up a little bit, and you could be really sweet at one moment and be off just a little bit. But look at this. Field's starting to form up, Rob. We're getting ready to go racing.
Indeed, as you said, IndyCar rubber had gone down on Friday afternoon, so that qualifying session for race 2, a little bit different with that rubber down. But again, qualifying's done. The field is set. Time to go racing here right now. Suleiman and Gold on row 1, Rasmussen, Abel, row 2, Eves and Petrov, row 3, Prokachik and Simpson, row 4, McElray and Yaney, row 5, and row number 6. 11 drivers going. We don't have Jack William Miller. Damage to the car after that big incident yesterday. 11 drivers set to take the green. Last Road to Indy event of the weekend. They're going to come over to crest the hill. Manuel Suleiman will be the driver in charge. He is the pole sitter. When does he punch off? He is nice and slow like he did yesterday. Crawling him up here. And he punches. Green, green, green. And a great start for Suleiman again, Greg, as he's able to dive to driver's right down to the wall. And indeed, following over there was Reese Gold. Good start for Christian Rasmussen. Let's see how they go through turn number 1.
Abel trying to work the outside of Rasmussen, and Rasmussen just floated enough speed inside to shunt that one off and hold on to that spot. But Abel's not done yet. Still working the outside down into 3, Rob.
Jacob Abel with a lot of confidence after that podium yesterday. I said it was his first podium. He actually podiumed as well on a rain race at Mid-Ohio last year, but a tremendous run. A lot more confidence for the team. Look at Abel almost getting driven off the outside of the racetrack there. Drops 2 wheels. The left side wheels into the dirt. Christian Rasmussen got the elbows up.
Well, he does, and after that run yesterday and those problems, I'm sure he is really anxious right here. And look at that. Abel lost 3 spots as a result of that, Rob.
Yeah, both of the exclusive Autosport drivers able to get by. Artem Petrov and Braden Eves move those 2 drivers up. And look at this coming down the inside. Abel trying to get through there. So Jacob Abel trying to see if he can't dial things back in. Slots back into, I believe, the 6th position. Right now it's Suleiman, Gold, and Rasmussen up front.
And look at that gap now from 3rd to 4th, Rasmussen back. And Abel trying to work that inside through turn 6, Rob. That exit, he got pinched and lost more momentum and speed. He may have lost another spot.
We'll see if Abel can press that reset button on the mind and get himself going forward here. One of those drivers a little wide coming through the carousel, that downhill off-camber corner, so crucial. Getting on the power out of the carousel is what gives you all that top speed down into Canada Corner through Kettle Bottom, and you've got to be strong out of that corner. Suleiman leads. Look at Rasmussen coming on strong, though. And I'll tell you, Artem Petrov, he's going to be moving forward, bit in his teeth, Greg. He wants to get himself back onto the podium.
Yeah, when you get that anger in that red mist, if you focus it, you can do great stuff. Look at this side by side through Billy Mitchell. It settles out here, but it gives Rasmussen a run up into 14. He dives to the inside.
Indeed, gets the move done. Book it for Rasmussen as he works his way into P2. A lot of action here right now. And here comes the exclusive Autosport driver from further back as well. I love how this is shaken down here right now. Look at this run. What a drive thus far for Artem Petrov. Braden Eves in there as well. Artem Petrov to P4. Rasmussen, though, he was the driver that caused the incident. Look at him battling with Reese Gold in turn number 1. He's the guy that caused the incident with Jack William Miller yesterday as he got into Reese Gold. That big wreck in 3. Rasmussen putting that behind him and trying to get himself back to the lead. He was the point leader coming in.
He was, and he maintains it, but it shrunk noticeably. And you could tell with that move on the opening lap on Abel, he's saying, I'm in no mood for this. I'm staying at the front, and we're going to get after it here. But Petrov on the move and has closed up quite a bit on the back of Rasmussen. Here we go, down into turn 5. Big lunge by Petrov.
How about Petrov to the inside? You're right. He may be going to P2 or P3. What a move for Petrov to the bottom as he gets second. Back to the top of the hill. Suleiman is your leader, side by side with Rasmussen and Artem Petrov. The Russian exclusive Autosport driver is on it right now.
I think Rasmussen pulled the over-under at the exit of 5, though. I think Petrov got in just a little bit hot, floated out, and Rasmussen read it beautifully, and, yep, has slotted right back into position.
Wyatt Prokopchik with a little bit of trouble coming out of turn number 6, dropped a wheel there. He's fallen to the tail of the field. We'll get back at it, though. But the battle up front, pretty aggressive right now. Manuel Suleiman with a nice little lead. But overall, things kind of settling in. Dylan Christie, again, you're our driver analyst here. Talk a little bit about the anxiousness of a start. You guys in USF 2000, it was 2-3 wide everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those starts were crazy. I mean, I picked a good race to be here for because this is, these cars are close right now. I mean, sometimes it's even more intense when it's tough to pass because that's when, people are, making moves on the starts and it's all dicey and, each spot counts on the start. So each driver knows you either move forwards or move backwards. It's pass or be passed. So I'm not surprised they're out there running 2-3 wide, getting the moves done because, teamwork so hard you have to.
That's it. Exactly that, man. Your team's working their tail off in the paddock trying to get the car the way you want it. You got to get the job done when you're on the racetrack. And that's one of the things about this sport, Greg, that I really love. It's a team sport, but when you go racing, it's still that driver behind the wheel that really has to get the job done.
Well, it is. The team builds a fast car, the team builds a safe car, but when you climb into it, Dylan, it's up to you. And, whatever data, all of those sensors, I always say the two most important sensors in a race car are still labeled LC and RC, left cheek, right cheek. And
I like that.
It's up to you at that point, isn't it?
Yes, Dylan, talk about that a little bit, about the seat of your pants feel. That's one of the things, especially I think in an open wheel formula car, where you sit in the car, your center of gravity, is really, you have to feel it in your butt.
Yeah, you got to feel it. You have to feel it, and you have to tell yourself that you're going to make moves and you're going to move forward. It's physical, but even more so it's mental. You have to tell yourself going in, I'm going to move forward, and then you have to move forward.
Christian Rasmussen is closed up now here on Manuel Suleiman. Had a look to the outside there in turn number 5 as the field streams through. Not able to get by. Almost got in the back of the gearbox there a little bit. He's pushing hard right now, up into 6. Rasmussen, very aggressive. 2020 USF 2000 champion for Jay Howard Driver Development, the driver from Copenhagen, Denmark, looking pretty good here. Running P2, has a point lead of just 5 markers over Braden Eves coming into this race. Another, I want to say another 20-something back is Reese Gold. Reese, of course, as we know, kind of dodged the bullet there, Greg. Finally able to get that engine fired. He's running P4.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rasmussen in those last 2 laps made up half a second because that battling that he was doing with Petrov allowed Suleiman to get out. Rasmussen dropped the hammer and has closed that right up. Just turned to 2:06.6. Really stout lap.
Reese Gold running in that 4th spot. Braden Eves 5th. Kiffin Simpson 6th. Jacob Abel back to 7th. Hunter McElroy 8th. Hunter Yaney 9th. James Rowe in 10th. And Wyatt Prokopchik rounding out the field. 11 drivers in here in Indy Pro 2000. Hoping to get a couple of our other drivers who started the season back midway through the season or late. But otherwise, 12 strong drivers in this particular category. All these drivers chasing that scholarship, over $750,000 to move to Indy Lights next year, the one step away from IndyCar. So big championship purse. But you got to get to the end of the season. We're going to wrap things up at Mid-Ohio in October.
I think we may see a move for third, or an attempt anyway. Gold getting a really good run, and Petrov here. Here he goes. Looks to the inside. Petrov, did he get him? He went around the outside, didn't he?
I think he got him around the outside, Greg. You're right. So move Reese Gold back into the 3rd spot. He'll defend coming down into P3, trying to hold off Petrov. And that's going to allow Braden Eves and Kiffin Simpson, I think, to come back in when you're running 2 wide like that. So that fight now for 3rd, 4th, and 5th is heating up. It's going to allow the leaders to pull away a little bit.
And that 2:06.26 that Gold just turned thus far, fast lap. Oh, excuse me. Simpson just uncorked a 2:05.8. That is a wicked quick race lap.
I want to say Simpson just got by. I think he might have got by Eves and Petrov.
He's on the move.
Yeah, I think he's up into P4 right now. Indeed he is, yeah. So Kiffin Simpson's gone to P4. How about these Juncos cars this weekend? 1st, 3rd, and 4th right now. Ricardo Juncos has dialed in a really good race car for his drivers, young Kiffin Simpson. First year of the series, just 17 years of age, putting on a show here as he turned the fast lap, as Greg had detailed, and is now finding his way to P4. He's going to try to go to work on his teammate Reese Gold here pretty soon.
Yeah, he is absolutely flying, and right now the Rasmussen, the lone Jay Howard driver development car, breaking up that momentum at the front. Right now, Suleiman has been able to stabilize. Rasmussen was attacking a lap back, and he's built up a little bit more of a margin here, but Rasmussen close enough for a draft. Heading down into Canada corner, Rob.
Let's see if we got a move coming in. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack. Contact potentially. Oh, he definitely dropped the wheel on the inside of the corner, tossed some dust. I thought we might have had contact. Look at Reese Gold in here as well. Gold right up there. Here comes Kiffin Simpson. So dial this up to 11. Driver's starting to battle it out.
Oh, and a protective line there by Suleiman. That means that Rasmussen opening that arc up, he could have a really good run up the hill and into one.
We are so early in this race still as well. Indeed, a big run for Rasmussen right on the gearbox as they crest the hill. I think we're going to see a pass. Indeed, already side by side coming across start finish. Rasmussen on the outside, Suleiman on the inside. What happens when they get down into turn one? Who's going to get, how about 3 wide? Reese Gold to the inside as well.
And Rasmussen, the one who got the best of that because his Gold went down the inside of Suleiman. Rasmussen able to clear through, but behind him it's a pack.
Well, that's going to bring Kiffin Simpson back in the fight as well. Both the exclusive Autosport cars, Jacob Abel, Hunter McElroy. Dylan, let's a quick question while they're coming down the straightaway, and as you'll see this big battle. How big is the draft, even in USF 2000?
It's big. So the draft's big. I think even more than the draft is you're seeing a lot of this close racing, and that's sort of the idea that if you get in the lead and the guys in second start battling.
Contact right there. Sorry, contact into 5. Someone locked it up, and one of the exclusive cars made contact with the right rear of the Juncos machine and has gone off the racetrack. So we've lost one of it. It might have been Artem Petrov. Either Petrov or Eves. Looks like they're out in turn number 5.
Yeah, he had a little air. He caught that wing folded up underneath him, and it just launched him, Rob.
Hopefully we'll be able to dial up that replay here if possible to get a look at that. Coming right down into the braking zone at turn number 5. I don't know that maybe the outside driver, realizing there was a couple drivers on the inside, broke a little bit earlier, a little harder to try to get the car woed up and make sure they're able to make the corner. Indeed, we're going to go full course yellow. Yeah, so there is damage. That car is going to be just on the outside of turn 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell you what, that's going to be really upsetting to Rasmussen, who'd built up a nice little lead, broken the draft. But let's take a look at that once again.
So we're going to go 3 wide, coming down into the corner there. How does this happen? Who coming in? Somebody's coming in deep from the back. Yeah, that's someone just couldn't get it woed up. That was Artem Petrov. And Artem Petrov to the side of Kiffin Simpson makes contact, damage to the left front. And I had said that Petrov was going to be aggressive today, and indeed he was.
And that contact was hard enough. You see it knocked his hand right off the wheel. That was a violent first bit of contact.
The second thought is any damage potentially to the right rear for Kiffin Simpson as well. That was some pretty hard contact into the braking zone.
Yeah, Simpson has been hooked up. You hate to see him have an issue like that.
It is tough down there, Dylan. You obviously were in a couple battles. We saw you there on the outside in turn number 5. What's it like when you're 3 wide going down into turn 5?
It's tough. You gotta make a breaking point. You gotta find it, and you gotta stick to it. You know, you never know if the cars are gonna slow down too much. You might have to go out of the way, avoid stuff. But
give us your thought. Give us your thoughts on this, Dylan. Coming down in here.
Well, I mean, you have to commit on the brakes. You can't you have to commit, and then if the guys slow up ahead, and then sometimes that's just how it goes. It's hard to tell if maybe the green car slowed up or if maybe broke too late. But I mean, you have to brake late. And well, yeah, that's what happens. But you gotta be okay with that happening sometimes if you're gonna go into the corner hard and be near the cars in front, which is what you should do, and that's just part of racing.
It seems to me like Kiffin Simpson might have been holding up to think about an over-under.
I was just thinking that.
You know, he breaking a little bit later, and instead of trying to go around the outside, just caught Artem Petrov off guard. I think Petrov was probably on his regular braking line and braking pressure. Yep. I just think that it was just a perfect storm for that.
I think you're right. I think Simpson had braked a little harder, was going to try and square up underneath. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a tough one for Artem Petrov. Artem came into the race here sitting 4th in points, back by just 34 markers. Christian Rasmussen now leading, getting a chance to pull away a little bit. Petrov's going to have a strong weekend in 2 weeks at Mid-Ohio. That said, he won there last year, so he's going to be pretty strong, I think, when we get to Mid-Ohio. But today, not the day for Artem Petrov.
Well, I tell you, as we said right before that caution came out, Rasmussen had opened up a nice little lead. He'd been able to break away from the pack, so they weren't able to draft off him. and we've seen his ability to flow speed. We watched what he did at the Oval at Lucas Oil Raceway, and he was really starting to open this up a little bit. So, you hate to see it for him, but it sure brought Reese Gold, Simpson, Suleiman, and everybody back into this.
One thing I will say about Christian Rasmussen, you go back to 2020, Greg, he's won, I think, 6 or 7 races to start the season, and then went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Labor Day weekend and had 2 DNFs. He had a huge point lead, 70-something points, I think was the point lead. We have big enough fields that when you finish last, you're not getting many points. It's not like Indy Pro here, where if you finish last, you're still getting 11th place points. He had issues at Indianapolis. We go to Mid-Ohio the next weekend, and starts on the pole position, literally drives off on the opening lap, kind of warming the tires up, drives off in the carousel, and so his point lead goes down to 3 points. Another driver may have collapsed, may have not been able to have that confidence. He was able to turn things back around, go on another winning streak, and actually locked up the championship. Here's your contact again here, those of you watching.
And
look
there's
at
the hand.
Yeah, the hand came off the steering wheel. He's going to land right on top of that wing. That's an e-ticket ride right there for sure. But where I was going with this was for what happened to Rasmussen, he really had his mental toughness really pushed, really tried last year, and he was able to come back. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Had that wreck yesterday. He saw the in-car video. It was totally his fault. It was his issue there in that wreck we had in turn 3. But as a race car driver, and Dylan, you could talk about this, you got to put yesterday behind you and have a fresh day, a brand new mindset, right?
Yeah, a brand new day. Every session you go in, you have to tell yourself you're passing your way forward, and that's what I'm seeing here. And you could start in P16 like I did, but like if you're on the car in front and you're comfortable on the brakes, you'll move forward. And he's made some good passes here. I was watching live the Indy Grand Prix. He made a pretty good pass there. Impressive stuff. And that's something these guys are so experienced at this point. Learning about passing and being good on the brakes.
The only one really benefiting from that particular incident was Braden Eves, Artem's teammate. He moves up 1 spot. We get to restart here. Remember, he was 5 points behind Christian Rasmussen coming in. Now Eves there in the P5 spot, not P6. Re-rack him and maybe get an opportunity to work himself back forward.
And, one thing that all successful drivers have to be able to do is, compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Some of us take fear. That's over here for a race and all this. Same thing with yesterday's finish. That's gone.
Done.
Let's go race now. And Rasmussen has clearly shown the ability to do that. We're back to green.
Yeah, indeed. 6 laps in the books. We'll put, 5 laps in the book. We'll put lap 6 in as they come across the line. So here you go. 6 laps down. We are back to green flag racing here in Indy Pro 2000, the final event of our Road to Indy lineup for this weekend's
Here comes Gold.
Rev Grand Prix. And yeah, Gold around the outside. Reese Gold, no one's ever going to accuse him of not being aggressive.
No.
16 years of age. He will always go for it. He has not yet won at this level. A couple of victories in USF 2000
He's
last
through.
year, and he is through. Reese Gold, new leader. Reese Gold has gone to P1. These Hunkos cars are good. I'll tell you that right now. Manuel Suleiman, Reese Gold, Kiffin Simpson, all strong. And there's going to be some more racing back there as well. Jacob Abel is going to bit in his teeth. He had such a good run yesterday. Really believes he has a car that can win. And I think he figured, deep break there for Hunter McElroy. Locked it up, coming in the middle of turn number 5. Stacked them up a little bit. Here goes Rasmussen back down to the inside of Gold. Gold, though, going to hang along the outside, Greg, to hold that spot.
And Abel trying the outside of Eves at the exit of 6, and he made it stick. He's through.
Jacob Abel for Abel Motorsports, his best weekend of his Road to Indy career. 3rd yesterday, looking to try to work his way back up here again. And he really believed he had long-distance pace to be able to get the win. He believed if we didn't have that yellow flag, had we done the full 15 laps, he thinks he had a car that would have been able to win the race. That yellow hurt him a little bit moving forward. But a great race car. He turned the fastest lap of the race yesterday, did Jacob Abel. We'll see if he's able to get himself back up here right now. But as you said, sliding by Braden Eves, moving himself to P5.
Ooh, car drop in the rear of the kink. Gathered it up. That is spooky stuff.
That's Hunter Yaney.
Oh.
Yeah, tough one there. Side-by-side racing here as well in turn number 12.
I think that was Simpson on Rasmussen.
It was. Kiffin Simpson, the 21. How about side-by-side through Billy Mitchell?
That's brave.
This kid, 17 years of age, and he has been impressive over the first half of the season. And I'll reiterate again, Road America midway through is where the rookies start to step up. We've seen that. We saw Spike Kolbecker in USF 2000 on the podium yesterday. Thomas Nepfu with a win here today.
Big one.
Yeah, huge for him. Rookie driver getting that win. And we're seeing Kiffin Simpson step up here as well. See what happens coming down into one. Reese Gold pulling a bit of a lead. Yeah, this pressure from Kiffin Simpson is really occupying Christian Rasmussen and allowing Reese Gold to stretch away a bit.
And that move, that last, sort of second dive into one, sometimes that can actually affect your exit. And we may have seen Rasmussen actually have a little bit more of a gap, but boy, that's well, no, it is still there actually. So that's going to be helpful for Rasmussen. Look at that. Back in the pack just a little bit. I think that was McElroy and Brikacek going at it.
A little dust back there as well. Someone dropping a wheel on the exit. So the Juncos driver still 1-3-4. Gold leads Rasmussen. Then it's Simpson and Suleiman in the white and green trademark colors of Juncos. Jacob Abel P5. Braden Eves in 6th. Little gap back then to 7th and 8th. That's Hunter McElroy and James Rowe battling. James Rowe had the spot at the line. I think Rowe's off. Rowe has gone off in hard contact into the tire barrier. Rowe went off the racetrack in turn number 7, straight off, like potentially something broke. We'll definitely get a replay of that.
Turn 7 has sort of been the demon here this weekend, hasn't it?
And indeed, full course yellow coming for the incident for James Rowe. That car just went straight off by himself on the racetrack. I don't know whether he got up on the curb or dropped a wheel, whatever it may be, but it just went straight off into the tire barriers on the outside of turn 7. Another full course caution. We've got 7 laps in the books. It'll be 8 when they get back around. Reese Gold had about an 8 or 9/10 of a second lead. No longer.
Happened to Reese, happened to Rasmussen.
Okay, let's have a look at this. Look deeper, a little bit deeper in the field, about 6th or 7th. Look for James Rowe. Actually, he's the second last car. Look for James Rowe coming into the corner, trying to make the turn in, and literally the car just doesn't turn anymore. I wonder.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dylan?
I think something broke. I've gone through there. It's a confidence thing, and I think in those cars it's easy flat, and that's tough. I mean, that'll scare you going through an easy flat corner where you have to trust the car, and
looks like suspension failure.
Something broke.
Something snapped on it.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, that's my team, and those guys have been working so hard to get that car
that's right.
running well.
I apologize.
I know
That's actually Dylan's teammate as well,
Yeah.
James Rowe at Turn 3 Motorsports. He's been working hard to try to get the speed in that car.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough. I know there's luck that goes into this, and you have to use the curbs here. Sometimes stuff breaks. I wouldn't take away from.
This is the drivers coming up here under the caution. We're going to see another replay of this, folks, and they're going to try to zoom in on it a little bit, see if we can get a better look. Looks to potentially like the left front suspension damage. Eric Mueller, the voice of Road America here, having a look over our shoulders on the screen. Of course, Dylan taking that seat right now, my driver analyst from Turn 3 Motorsport. His teammate James Rowe going off in turn number 7.
Well, let's take a look at it first. I want to ask you a question about it, Dylan, but watch for it here.
Yeah, I'm watching. That's tough. I mean, there's not much
right
you can
there.
do about that.
Yep.
You can see that little wiggle, and
That's tough. There's not much you can do about that. I mean, you have to use the curbs and stuff breaks, and I see his wheel looks a little bent in there. It's hard to see, but
along for the ride at that
broke.
point too, right?
And that's what I wanted to get at, Dylan. Around this track, if you're going to be really fast, there's a lot of curbs you simply have to use, and some of them, the higher you get up on them, they're sort of graduated, and it's a rough ride.
It is. It's always a risk. You have to use the curbs to go quick here, and this stuff breaks. That's just the reality of racing, unfortunately. And I know that teams work so hard to get the cars to make sure they're running well and that nothing's breaking, but it's just a reality that you have to use the curbs to be quick, and when you use them, stuff breaks.
And that's going to be a fairly hard hit as well. You can see him on the brakes trying to get there, get it woed up. And then once you're off track into the grass, into the gravel, you're just, as I said, along for the ride at that point. Hopefully everything's okay with James Rowe.
And, we should maybe address this. Part of the Road to Indy program is all the connections you have to the IndyCar Series, including the AMR Rescue Team. And when they show up and you're a driver that's been shaken up, even if you're not hurt, you're still rattled a bit, they know everything about you, and they show up.
Yeah.
And it's a very calming thing to have that team show up.
I really consider that as one of the highlights of the Road to Indy. When you're at our events, you have the absolute best care. The AMR IndyCar safety team works with all of our drivers. Like you said, they know our race cars. They know how to get drivers out if we have to. And to be able to have them here, I just think is such a positive of this program.
Yeah, and when you have a lot of different cars in the program, different chassis styles and everything, they know, okay, this is Indy Pro 2000. Here's the hookup points. Here's this, the that. they can do it as fast as possible with as little damage, additional damage to the car, and obviously take care of the drivers at the same time. It's just superb.
Past the halfway point right now, 8 laps down, 7 to go. Still on the yellow for the incident with James Rowe over in turn number 7. Dylan Christie from Turn 3 Motorsports, USF 2000 rookie, joining us in the booth here as our driver analyst. Dylan, let's just I want you to grade yourself. Give me a grade on the first half of the season, you as a rookie. How do you feel?
Grade. I mean, I got to give myself an A just for the hard work and the improvement.
I
you
like
know?
it, yeah.
There's always more you can do, but if you know there's always more that you can do, then you're doing what you can, and it's gone great. I mean, every race I feel like I understand the car more. I feel like even through adversity I can move my way forward, and when it's good I can capitalize on it and make moves.
And really, USF 2000, Indy Pro, Indy Lights, the progression is 2 seasons, right? You come in as a rookie, you learn the race car, you learn the tracks, you learn how you have to attack the tracks with that car. You come back the next year and you're ready to win a championship.
Yes, definitely. It feels like 2 different halves of the season so far, because you start off and it's great. You start at tracks like Barber, St. Petersburg, Lucas Oil, and it's completely new. They're tough circuits, and then you go to Mid Ohio and Road America. I'm excited to go to Mid Ohio and more circuits that feel like it's something I've done before.
That's right, yeah.
And it's almost like a step easier, because it's like, oh well, I was blasting around St. Pete, I can do Road America.
Well, the funny thing is that, and I say that too, a lot of drivers put a lot of pressure on themselves in their first season. And I always say this, could the 2021 Dylan Christie beat the 2020 Dylan Christie? He's going to kick his butt, right? You change so much over the season. When you come back the next year, it's a totally different mindset. Definitely.
I mean, this is a learning year for us, and Turn 3 is helping me a lot with that. The driver development is phenomenal, and that's why we're here this year, is to learn, to get better. And I'm kind of going for a 2-year program, and being able to come back next year, I'm going for the championship. But I'm here to learn this year, and I've learned tons. So
it's been fun. It's been fun to watch it, get learning for the start of the season. Great to have you in the booth. You're doing a great job, by the way. I'll give you an A on that too.
Absolutely,
nice.
Absolutely. And I got to say, I like your approach is everything, because as a race car driver, as in everything in life, you're going to face adversity. You're not going to win everything. You're going to have your struggles. And if you let that become frustration, that's when you're really not going to get the job done. But you look at it as, obviously, adversity is an education.
It is.
When you learn from it, absorb it, apply it, that's how you get to the front.
The weekends where everything goes right is great. You don't have a lot of those, but adversity is the best learner, I think, or the best teacher.
You learn more from your failures than you do your successes. That's very true. They've got the car almost on the hook for James Rowe. I'm going to think probably a couple more laps. The AMR safety team, you can see that. They've got the bar through the tub itself. They got that thing hooked up nicely so there's no additional damage. They tie it from the top and from the back to keep the car from swinging. So they'll get that car where they want it to be. They'll get them off the track, and we'll be able to go back green flag racing. And one of the things, Greg, we've talked about this already, such a long racetrack that that's you don't lose as many laps, because at pace car speed, it takes quite a while to get around even one lap here at Road America.
And, obviously you hope that, and Race Control does a brilliant job of this, is really watching how that cleanup is going. Because this is a long track, they can look at it and say, you know what, we could probably go green this lap because we got enough time for those guys to get off the track, because you hate to have it run an extra lap because of the length. But believe me, Race Control, as much as anybody else, want this race to get back to green.
Yeah, you're probably right. I would say we will go green, because they're going to be able to bring him right. I would be surprised if they just bring him down here off in hurry downs at turn number 8, get him behind the wall.
Just tuck him.
Yeah, and we'll be able to go back to racing. So the AMR safety team's got him hooked up. They're rolling. If indeed we do go green this time by, it'll be a 5-lap shootout to cap things off. 15-lapper for Indy Pro. 9 laps in the books. We'll put 10 when they come back across the line. Let's restack the deck for you. Reese Gold, the leader, 16 years of age, in the number 55 for Juncos Racing out of Miami, Florida. Christian Rasmussen, last year's USF 2000 champion in the Road Indy Scholarship colors, the number 1 and 2nd, your point leader. Kiffin Simpson, the impressive young rookie, up into 3rd. Manuel Suleiman 4th. So all 3 Juncos cars in the top 4. Jacob Abel 5th. Braden Eves in 6th spot. Wyatt Prokachik in 7th. Hunter McElroy 8th. Hunter Yaney 9th. James Rowe 10th. And Artem Petrov out of the race after the incident in turn number 5.
Fastest lap of the race so far, Simpson. So I'd be keeping a real good eye on him.
Kiffin Simpson, 405.783. Oh, probably, 205. 205.854. Reading the wrong lap. That's a quick lap.
Yes.
And you know what? And for him, he's been able to do that. Now he gets to reset, and now he gets to attack again. This is really big for Kiffin Simpson. We saw a first-time winner in Thomas Nepfu in USF 2000. Do we see a first-time winner in Kiffin Simpson here? Can he attack Christian Rasmussen? I'm looking forward to this run down into turn number 1. Everybody's been super aggressive. Maybe no one more so than Rasmussen. He's going to want to try to go back to the lead.
You bet. Simpson won podium this year. He'd love to go a little bit better. It was a third. Boy, all right, here we go. Gold, bringing the field through 14, Rob.
Indeed, back to green, 5-lap dash. Reese with a little scrub of the tires coming out of the corner there. Nice and slow coming up. Let's see if he does what Suleiman did and wait till he gets to the very top of the hill to punch. The longer you wait to punch off, the less opportunity for the draft all the way down into turn number 1. So Gold is there. Rasmussen right on the gearbox. Green, green, green. Back at it once again. And a decent little jump. And here comes Suleiman going to work as well, trying the outside of Kiffin Simpson.
And Gold just did a brilliant job. As soon as he punched, he started to bob and weave to try and keep Rasmussen off it. But look at that, side-by-side Suleiman on Simpson around the outside through 1.
Let's see what happens coming down here again. Yeah, you said side-by-side still. Trying the outside. These are the two drivers that got together that caused the incident yesterday at the start of the race as Rasmussen was thinking about the outside of Reese Gold. Didn't get enough in there. Another driver dropping a wheel. You can see the dust flying further back. Gold to the inside. Rasmussen to the outside. Does he beat him into the braking zone or is it an over-under? They'll crest the hill to turn 5, Greg.
Well, he squared up the exit at 3, and that's what gave Rasmussen that great run. But now down to the inside. Look at that move there by Simpson trying to get back through. That kind of filled Rasmussen's mirrors a little bit, but did he make it stick?
Yeah,
he did.
He's the leader. Christian Rasmussen goes back to P1. One driver off the outside of the racetrack. Trying to figure out who that was that went off.
And Abel, a big jump during that opening sequence of corners, up into 4th.
Yeah, Jacob Abel, strong run. That might have been Braden Eves who went off the outside at turn number 6, top of the hill there. Or is that one of the Juncos cars? That might have been one of the Juncos cars, I think. So, again, drivers through the carousel for the first time. 5 laps remaining. It'll be 4 to go when they get back. And look at this jump for Christian Rasmussen. Powers his way back to P1 and is stretching away, giving himself a little bit of breathing room here already.
Well, once he got through turn 3 and got that run, when those Juncos guys went after each other down in 5, slowed them both up all the way through 6, Rasmussen was able to skate free.
Hunter McElroy getting a little bit of help here. He's up to P5 as he's putting the pressure on Jacob Abel. Braden Eves falling back, I believe, to 7th now. Or it might be actually 6th. Yeah, indeed 6th place, I believe, for him. Wyatt Prokachik up into 7th.
That's got big points implications, doesn't it, with Rasmussen running away up front?
It does, in a big way. This is going to give Rasmussen a little bit of breathing room if he's able to hold on here. Again, coming up the straightaway, Braden Eves is going to go to the outside as he's trying to find a way by Hunter McElroy, I believe. Eves gets by McElroy down into turn number 1, so move Braden Eves back into 5th. But this is definitely going to give Rasmussen a big jump in the points if he's able to score this race win.
You know, McElroy came into this race, starts 5th in the points, and I was looking at it, and he is the only driver who has scored a top 10 in every race. Somebody has had an issue somewhere, and he has just been a point-scoring machine, and that's keeping him in the top 5. He needs to start scoring podiums and wins a bit more frequently, but he just continues to accrue points. Eves, beautiful move, getting back up there.
Love this fight for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Gold and Simpson going at it. And you can see Jacob Abel dialing things back in again like he did yesterday on the podium. P3 for Jacob Abel. We'll see if he does it again here today. Braden Eves getting by Hunter McElroy for P5, as I had said. Now Wyatt Prokachik actually going to work a bit here. Prokachik trying to find a way by Hunter McElroy as well. The driver falling to the tail of the field was Manuel Suleiman. He was the Juncos driver who went off up in turn number 6. And not the result Manuel needed. He needed another victory to try to get himself back in the championship fight. That big win yesterday, he needed to get a couple of big wins here to get back in the scrap before we go to Mid-Ohio.
I'm sure he's frustrated starting on the pole, obviously, and not having the race he wanted, as you pointed out. But Rasmussen, boy, is he taking control of this one.
Strong lap after that restart for Christian Rasmussen, last year's USF 2000 champ, trying to follow in the footsteps of guys like Kyle Kirkwood, who won USF 2000, backed it right up with a victory championship at Indy Pro 2000. Oliver Askew wasn't able to do that. as he finished second, or finished third, I believe, actually, in the championship to Renus VK that year in the Indy Pro.
Well, and I think for Rasmussen, again, when those Juncos guys were duking it out, he broke free clear enough that they're not getting any kind of a toe off him. And then you just sort of tilt your mirrors down, don't you, Dylan? You go, okay, I don't have to worry about them behind me for a while. Just go.
It's that restart. I think they knew that all the testing, all the preseason preparation, it can come down to one restart, and that's what happens. I mean, if you nail the restart, you will pull away, and the guys in second and third will be battling, and that's how you win a race. Sometimes it comes down to a good restart, and you had a good restart.
And what I like here now is it's essentially Rasmussen versus Gold. So what can Reese do? He's getting pressure from behind by Kiffin Simpson, but can we see Reese refocus and get himself back closer? Last time by, Rasmussen was quicker by about 0.2 of a second. The gap with the line, 1.1 seconds. The draft's still there. You can see a little wiggle there out of Rasmussen coming down into the braking zone. And I don't think we're done with Braden Eves either. He's closing up on the tail of Jacob Abel. So we may have a fight for third, fourth, and fifth here still. 12 laps down, 3 to go. It'll be 2 laps remaining when they get back around to the stripe.
That's kind of fitting. It's Rasmussen and Gold up front because we've had 9 rounds complete. We're running the 10th round. 5 of the fast laps owned by those 2 guys.
That's it, right? 2 very impressive drivers. Obviously different ages. Rasmussen, 19 years of age. Gold, just 16. Rasmussen from Denmark. Gold from Miami, Florida. Both drivers, though, with victories in USF 2000. We'll see whether or not Christian Rasmussen can step up and be the next guy to challenge for the ultimate wins, because obviously we know Kyle Kirker with 25 victories, but I want to say Rasmussen has 11 or 12 wins already. He had a strong season last year, had 3 wins the year before in his first year in USF 2000. And indeed, look at this battle here. That's Eves, and yeah, Greg, that is Eves alongside Abel.
He's through.
He gets it. He had it done before he got to the braking zone.
Yeah, that was a great run. He floated so much speed through the kink and was just able to drive around him on the exit. That was impressive stuff. And going back to that front with Rasmussen and Gold, you go back to the Freedom 90, and that duel they put on for that entire race was just spectacular.
It was fun to watch, man. Fun to call for sure. And Reese just threw everything he could at Rasmussen, although Christian was super aggressive and being defensive, trying to pinch him down. Gold put it on a show on the final lap, almost getting it done in turn 3 and 4, but nonetheless able to come home for P2. And again, very much like you, Dylan, Reese is in his first year in Indy Pro 2000. Get a feel, learn, impress some people with some speed and come back and win the championship next year.
I mean, it's impressive. If this is his first season in Indy Pro, then he's showing good speed. And I mean, you have to have good speed, and you have to, I feel like even more than good speed, you have to always find yourself up front, either if it's from raw pace or if it's from good racecraft. I mean, you have to finish races and be up front, and that's how you'll win a championship.
Good scrap further back there as well, too, between Hunter Yaney and Wyatt Prokopchik. Those 2 drivers battling it out right now for 8th and 9th. Again, already out of the race, Artem Petrov and James Rowe, those 2 incidents, they're side by side again, Yaney and Prokopchik into turn number 5. But we're continuing to watch the run here. Rasmussen and Gold, almost identical lap times last time by, both going 2:05.8. So no closer for Gold, and Rasmussen looking like he may be able to come home here with that race win. White flag's going to fly next time by, Greg. It's been an interesting race for Indy Pro 2000. A couple of different leaders. We've had some incidents, but all in all, Christian Rasmussen bouncing back from yesterday's issue in turn number 3.
Well, absolutely. And you look at it, when he had that big lead built up, then we went caution, and he lost it. And it was Gold that was able to go to the front, open up a big lead. Caution on the restart. Rasmussen just dialed it up, came through, and has done exactly what he's supposed to do. And I thought for a minute that Eves might still get that point for fast lap. I was looking at a 2:05.74, and I thought, well, that's going to help. Before he went out, a 2:05.72 by Rowe. So he steals that point from Eves.
Wow. So James Rowe had the pace, as we said, just that issue that put him off in turn number 7. Still some time as these cars get a little lighter here now to put down a fast lap. We'll see if anything happens. But again, as we said, just 1 to go at the line.
That was something I wanted to ask Dylan quickly. We talk about from the car, when you start the race, tires are fresh, even if they're a used set. They're, relatively fresh, full fuel.
Yes.
How much different does the car feel when the fuel burns off but the tires degrade a bit?
It's different. I mean, qualifying and race, they're 2 entirely different sessions. You're getting 2 entirely different cars, and you have to be able to work on consistency, and you have to make the tires last. You have to keep up you have to keep up your pace as the race progresses, and that's what you see. I feel like at the higher levels, IndyCar, that's what those guys are masters at, is working the car when maybe the tires are fading a bit, and maintaining the pace as the car and track are changing.
Well, they have a lot of adjustability inside those cockpits as well. At your level, you don't have quite that to be able to deal with, do you?
Got to do it with the driving. Yeah, you got to just be consistent and hit your marks.
Last lap on track right now as we are getting set to go to cap things off here. It is the lead for Christian Rasmussen as they work their way down through turns number 5 and up to turn 6. The Danish driver trying to get back on top of the box like he did at the Freedom 90 at Lucas Oil Raceway. An issue yesterday out on the opening circuit after contact with Reese Gold sent him spinning. A number of drivers making contact. Pretty scary wreck as 2 drivers going over top of him, but he's been able to compartmentalize that, not worry about yesterday, focus on today. And Rasmussen takes a pretty solid lead of over a second and a half into the carousel for this one last time. It's Rasmussen, Gold, Simpson, Eves, and Abel, your current top 5. Greg, they'll work their way here into Kettle Bottom. Almost done through the kick. Now Christian Rasmussen looking to grab another victory.
Wow, what a run he's put together. Last time by his margin was almost a second and a half. It's more than that right now, and Gold has been able to shake Simpson. And that's a great run for Reese Gold right now. Simpson, Eves, and Abel in your top 5. Here we go through Canada Corner for the final time.
This would be his 5th win of the season. Christian Rasmussen for J. Howard Driver Development has the Road to Indy Scholarship colors, having won USF 2000 last year at a turn number 14. Again, putting yesterday behind him, and it is an impressive run. He'll work his way up the hill, and to cap off this weekend's Road to Indy events here at Road America, Twin Checkers are out, and Christian Rasmussen wins the second race of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship visit here to Road America. It's a Juncos Racing 2-3 as Reese Gold takes second, Kiffin Simpson third, Braden Eves fighting his way back up to fourth, minimizing the point damage as Rasmussen gets that big victory. He'll stretch out that point lead significantly, but Eves able to get by Abel late. He goes to fourth. Jacob Abel, though, another top 5. Third yesterday, 5th today. I think a really good weekend for Jacob Abel.
Without a doubt, that Abel Racing and Abel Construction car, they really had it hooked up here. And how about this? On the last lap, pretty impressive stuff. By 3/100ths of a second, Rasmussen gets fast lap in that point.
Just over Jacob Abel. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so that and another bonus point.
Yep.
There's your results, folks. Rasmussen with the win. Gold second. Simpson third. Eves and Abel round out the top 5. Hunter McElroy ends up in 6th. Manuel Suleiman in 7th. Hunter Yaney and Wyatt Prokachik battling it out there. They're 8th and 9th. James Rowe 10th out of the race, and Artem Petrov the first retirement after that contact in turn number 5. Dylan Christie, well done, man. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us here in the booth.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. It's all a new experience, so thanks for having me.
Everybody around the track obviously wants to follow you on social media. You're in USF 2000 for Turn 3 Motorsports. Give me the social media handles.
Instagram's at Dylan Christie Racing. That's probably the best one. And then I have Twitter. It's just Dylan Christie, and then Facebook as well. Same thing. One last thing, want to wish my dad Happy Father's Day on TV. So that'll be part of his present. So
you just went from A to A+.
Bingo.
Well done.
Now.
Good job. Yeah. Dylan Christie, folks, tremendous driver, and we watch for him next year. He's going to continue his rookie season this year, going for the championship in USF 2000 next year. Greg Creamer, I'm going to head down to Tatus Victory Lane. I'll let you wrap it up from here.
All right, man, Rob. What a fun race. And, boy, Rasmussen taking control when he needed to and getting the bonus points and giving himself that little bit more of a buffer. Reese Gold, how impressive at 16 years of age to be doing what he's doing with these runs. And so cool to see Kiffin Simpson absolutely come alive here in this one. Really start to throw some stuff down. Gets his second podium of the season to go along with the one he got at the 6th round at IMS. And he'll be loving that. And for Braden Eves, he's going to lose a little ground in the points, but still a 4th-place finish. Good for him. And Jacob Abel really showing some pace here, and I'm sure that team and Jacob himself will be elated. Obviously, didn't get the podium he did yesterday, but still in all, not a bad run at all as the field now completing that cool-down lap. And, of course, for Christian Rasmussen, as Rob alluded to, his 5th victory lap, if you will, of the season. And we talked about it. He added another fast lap. So that would be his 3rd fast lap. And that will match. Actually, that for Rasmussen, that's his 4th fast lap. So 5 wins, 4 fast laps. He is a racer extraordinaire. There's no question about that. As they work their way up and head over to Victory Circle, Rasmussen first to arrive. And twice he broke the field a little bit, got away from the draft. First time it was negated by that first caution. Then Reese Gold snuck around and went off and did the same thing. That was negated by a caution in Rasmussen, and it was an absolutely stellar move coming out of turn 3. He and Gold had gone through one side by side. Rasmussen came in on the outside, but you could see he just checked up just a little bit, squared the corner up a little bit more, got to the throttle that smidge sooner as Reese Gold had to flow from a tighter angle through the apex of turn 3. Rasmussen got to the hammer and got that pass made, and then the Juncos boys behind him got into their own intra-team scrap, and that allowed Rasmussen to open that margin up and build it all the way to the finish. Look at the results once again. Rasmussen, Gold, and Simpson, your podium. Second in the points, Eves gets 4th, Jacob Abel in 5th. Then McElroy, Suleiman from the pole, not the race he wanted, sitting in 7th. Hunter Yanni up into 8th, 9th, Wyatt Prokacek, and James Rowe. He had some serious speed, but then he had that mechanical issue and went out and ends up in the 10th spot. So what a fascinating race.
Yeah, great race here at Road America, winner of race 2 after a tough day yesterday with a huge crash. The guys managed to get the car back together, and it was amazing. Yeah, starting from P3, we were just kind of hanging out a little bit. I got to the front, then we had a restart. Gold overtook me. It's so tough with the restarts here with the long straights. But then we got another caution. I got a chance on him, took it, overtook, and won the race. So yeah, I think we had great pace, and we really deserved this one.